Hello again, everyone. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. This time it's time to tackle the year 2004 with our tops and bottoms of the year. We'll give you our opinion on what the best and worst of music is. So this probably will be a shorter video, especially the best part. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe Craig will have some. He's got the singles, which I think 2004 was mostly a singles thing. By the way, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. We have Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, Richard from Calvin Wazoo, Mike from Hub Tunes, and I'm the guy who was working in country radio at this time. So don't know much about any of this. I'm Robert Fithen, and 2004, tops and bottoms.
Woo!
Yeah. I don't even know what I was doing in 2004. I was going to a lot of concerts, but I know I went to South by Southwest that year, and I think I went to Austin City Limits that year because I had a good friend who lived in Austin. I wasn't buying a lot of records. I don't know what the hell I was buying because I wasn't buying CDs, but I definitely wasn't buying a lot of music. So I pulled 5 records that I have that I do like. And then I pulled 20 off the interwebs that I remember, and I listened to a bunch of them, and they, pretty good records. So number 20, Antics by Interpol. That's a great record. I had forgotten how much I liked Interpol. Yeah, they're a pretty cool band. I love his vocals. What is his name? I can't remember his name, but he also had a cool solo record a couple of years ago. Next up was Misery as a Butterfly, Blonde Redhead. Really cool record. Paul Banks. Paul Banks is his name. Misery as a Butterfly. Yeah, Blonde Redhead. I don't know if that was their debut. It might have been their second record. I saw them at Austin City Limits, and they were terrific live. Really cool band. They're still around making music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool. If you like that kind of it's more upbeat shoegaze. They got a little punch to their sound. It's not that drony kind of shoegaze.
Is that the cover that is like the person that's like holding a tennis racket or something that looks like a flower or something like that? It's a very interesting cover. That's actually what made me want to listen to them. I think I was getting CDs, borrowing them from the library, and I saw that cover and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And that's
she's a pretty cool lead singer.
They're really
her name.
I don't remember. I need to get more into them.
Yeah, cool band.
That would be an interesting topic of how we were all digesting music in 2004 because, vinyl hadn't really come back yet. CDs were kind of like dying out because of streaming. Craig's getting CDs from the library and ripping them. I did that for about a summer when the new library here opened. One of the best small town libraries in America, according to CNN. And, I did that for, a month or two. And then it was all about listening on USB. I had the USB stick in my car.
I think I did that.
Stuff like that. You don't discover new music doing that. A lot of streaming. So
iPods.
iPods.
I had an iPod full of music. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
An album called Gold Medal by the Donnas. The Donnas were a kick-ass band.
The Donnas.
I remember them. That was a good record too. I had forgotten about it.
I don't know any of these.
I actually added that. Just good girl punk. Just
I can't think of any of the singles off of that because Take It Off and That About Your Girl. That was like the album before.
Yeah.
I love the Donnas.
They were really.
They are kind of like.
I don't think they're not still around, are they?
I don't think they've done anything for quite a while, but
they just reissued 3 of their albums on vinyl like about 2 weeks ago. There was a
bunch
of Donna's reissues.
Because I just added them to my list of stuff I want to buy.
Yeah,
cool. An album I have this one, Velvet Revolver, Contraband. I'll hold it the right way. This is a good record. Really good record. I saw them actually live on this tour, and they were great live. Really good live band. Probably not what people would... Huh?
Isn't Scott Weiland?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the lead singer for this for them. He was a really good frontman. I don't know. He was a great frontman, though. They rocked. It was a good show. I really enjoyed it. Next up, we got the Libertines debut album. That's a cool record too, man. They burned fast. They burnt out real fast. I really enjoyed their first. Actually, I think their first 2 records were really good. But then he's the guy who was with Amy Winehouse for a while. Pete Doherty. He was Amy Winehouse's boyfriend and drug dealer, and he was all part of that chaos.
Allegedly.
No, I think he's gone to prison.
Oh,
I think he's out. And I think they might actually be recording and like making music again. Here's another one. Cool band. I've talked about this band a lot lately for some reason. A band that runs hot and cold with me. This one is a hot one. Satanic Panic in the Attic. This is of Montreal. I like them. I didn't realize how many of their records I have because a bunch of their stuff I really don't like, but I still have like 8 of their records. They're one of those bands that made a lot.
Make a lot, yeah.
Yeah, they made a lot of records over the years. Cool artwork, but this is a pretty decent record. The Elliott Smith compilation From the Basement came out. He had just passed away, and they kind of put together some stuff that was left over. It's just some, not hits, but, more popular songs. It's a real good introduction to Elliott Smith if you want to get that. From the Basement. A band you would probably... I'm going to admit, I like this record. I loved it when it came out. I saw them at Austin City Limits at... where was it? Yeah, it was an after show. It was at Stubbs, and it's Kings of Leon. They released, I don't know if this was their debut, Aha Shake. I think that might have been it was a big album, really big album for them. And they opened for Spoon when I saw them, and it was a good record, really good record. But they, again, burned really bright, and now...
Yeah,
I've had a controversy here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
They what? What happened?
Controversy here in St. Louis, so St. Louis hates them.
What happened?
They allegedly were, according to some of the people there, were too wasted to do the show, and they blamed it on pigeons in the upper part of the staging area at the amphitheater here.
Oh,
they were getting shit on by pigeons. And
pigeons can be really harsh critics.
So they
sense.
canceled the concert, as it was starting, basically. Or maybe they played one song, or I don't remember exactly how it went, but yeah, St. Louis doesn't like Kings of Leon, and then
I think pigeons are like the Christgau of birds.
Yeah,
I think they're one of those bands that got really big, really fast, and just died, and not died literally, but just because I haven't heard anything from them at all.
No,
they were. Yeah, there was 2 sides to that story, so who knows? The truth is probably somewhere in the middle,
absolutely.
But
Another band I should have pulled that. I didn't. Iron and Wine is one of my favorite bands. Sam Bean and his sister Sarah. Folky, ethereal. His vocals are really soft and smooth. There's no ups and it's not like rock and roll. It's just very. It's very just kick back and listen. He's a beautiful singer. But they released an album called Our Endless Numbered Days, which was a really pretty record. A band I really dig, and I thought I had this record, but Desperate Youth, I think it has a longer title, by TV on the Radio.
Oh,
I really dug TV on the Radio. They were cool. I think they've broken up. I'm pretty sure they're done.
I only have one record of theirs, but I can't remember when it was released.
Yeah, I really, really dug them. Cool band. They were kind of like they fell into that. Do you remember Block Party?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them too. They were a cool band. They were pretty big right around this time. They actually released an EP this year, which I didn't have, and I didn't listen to it, so I didn't list it. But they were one of those
Party's
bands
hard to find.
Yeah, I really dug them. Silent Alarm was their big album.
Yeah.
Cool band. Aha Her by PJ Harvey. Pretty cool PJ record. I love that. More Adventurous by Rilo Kiley. That came out. Good record. Was this their last record, Craig?
Nope. Under the Black Light was the last.
Under the Black Light. Forgot about that. What else here? We got Ryan Adams, who I dislike as a human being. He's human scum. But he released 2 EPs this year. I think they both came out in the same year. They're called Love is Hell. I think you can buy them now as one record. Really good folk alt country. If you're gonna buy any Ryan Adams, those are absolutely my favorite Ryan Adams records, and they came out this year. Franz Ferdinand, self-titled band I just adore. Saw them like 2 years ago, and they blew the roof off the place. And yep, there it is. Great record. Mm-hmm. I love it. Just turn it up. I just love that record. All their music. Some of their most recent stuff is really good.
Yeah, there's another reissue of that coming out, like on gold vinyl, I think next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Like the 20th anniversary. That album's 20 years old. It's crazy. Yeah. And actually, they're the ones that did. Are they the ones that did the album with Sparks?
Yeah, that's a great record.
Oh, good. I still need to get that.
Where is it? I can't reach it. Yeah, great record. That album they did with Sparks is the perfect combination of two bands coming together as one. Like, you can't tell if it's a Sparks record or if it's a Franz Ferdinand record. It's got a great groove to it. I love that. Terrific record. One of my favorite Prince records came out this year. I love Musicology. This is a cool record. It's an R&B record. I just love it. I love the title track. The whole thing is just a really groovy record. One of my favorites. I didn't like the single. What was that? Cinnamon Girl? It was kind of schmaltzy. It's just a pop single.
Cover too.
Huh?
The cover. Yeah, look at that's fancy.
This is the reissue. It's on purple vinyl.
They all are.
They all are on purple vinyl. I just got that collection.
A lot of them.
He seemed to have purposely gotten away from the color purple, not the book, but the actual color purple.
I think he was still into it here.
But everything is purple vinyl, and it's like he even says in that One Night Alone live thing, if you're here for Purple Rain, you're in the wrong place, But the vinyl's still purple.
I love your
anywhere
Prince.
In any of the photos, but purple vinyl.
I loved your Prince videos, by the way.
Yeah,
cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no, really good. I can't believe you got those box sets.
Yeah,
that's
insane.
Insane. I looked up the price of a couple of them. I was like, this guy.
Yeah, the box set alone.
On Saturday mornings and go to estate sales.
Super jealous of the box set alone, so I've wanted that for a long time.
Wilco's Ghost is Born is released with a whole new lineup and a terrific record. And my
an
favorite
interesting cover.
I'm sorry?
That's an interesting cover.
Yes.
Bird's Nest.
There's a couple different covers for it, actually. And my favorite record from 2020, these were in no particular order, except for number one, is Arcade Fire's Funeral came out in 2004.
Oh, okay.
Which, I'm sorry, they were never better. That was their peak. There's a couple of...
I have heard that from a lot of people.
I wouldn't say it's their peak, but it's such a brilliant debut that it was really hard to really go up from that. And I feel like they've had some really bright moments, but album-wise, none of their albums has compared to Funeral. Yeah. But there's been a few that have been close.
Yeah. There's been moments on some of their records that I've really, really enjoyed.
A lot of them.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. And it's not an eventful year.
No, it was not.
It's
not an eventful year.
Yeah,
I mean, I was, like I said, I was in. Is it my turn?
It's your turn. Go.
Sure.
Like I said, I was working in country radio, and I was not really going out as I started doing later on. So I missed a lot of this music. And looking over it, it's not like some of the other years where it's like, oh, I want to hear this. I want to hear this. I never got to hear this. I always heard about this. I want to hear this. Some of this stuff, it's just, it's a really down year, it looks like. And I don't really care about hearing a lot of this stuff. I mean, I did check out some things that I hadn't heard previously from bands that I was familiar with, like Clutch. They had an album called Blast Tyrant. George Michael had Patience, which is okay. Tom Waits had Real Gone, which, wow, he's now that he's older and his age is starting to match his voice, he's really groggy. I mean, wow. It's like, damn, dude. Black Label Society is okay, Hangover Music Volume 6. Concrete Blonde had Mojave, which I did not get a chance to listen to because it's very hard to find streaming.
I don't have it.
But yeah, The Perfect Circle, Emotive. I mean, it was all just kind of there. I was really impressed by the Prince musicology, but I just did a whole thing about Prince and I just got familiarized with a lot of his later stuff, and it kind of fits in with some of that. There's stuff that's better. There's stuff that's not as good. Loretta Lynn, though, came back with Jack White producing for the Van Leer Rose album. I thought that was
so good.
More of an interesting story and an interesting time, I guess, and an interesting event than an album that blows you away. I mean, some of it's pretty good. I wish they would have chosen some better. They would have put more effort into the song choices. The story is she has this boxes and boxes of lyrics that she's written, and they just took the first 10 right off the top and did those songs. Didn't really delve into it, and really, I think they should have. But a great album from Loretta Lynn. Was that her last? She didn't do anything after that.
No, because I'm pretty sure she did another album with him.
Oh, really?
There's at least 2, possibly 3 more after that one.
Wow.
I'm not sure she did any more with him. I felt like the one after this was also with Jack, but I could be wrong on that.
But they made a big deal about it. They tried to get it on the radio. It was like I said, I was in country radio. It didn't work. And it just was more of an event, more of something to talk about than it was an album that blew up and everybody loved and whatever.
Portland, Oregon is the first single, I think, off of it. And that played, I was in the Pacific Northwest, so maybe that's why, but it played all over alternative radio in Seattle.
Okay, so it went to alternative, so that's not gonna that didn't do much, I don't think. Country radio ignored it. For Loretta Lynn, I mean, if you're looking at her, you're looking at country.
You
so
absolutely are.
That country radio would ignore that. But yeah, Franz Ferdinand was probably one of my favorites. That was out at the time. Somebody turned me onto this. Well, I was also teaching at a place called Broadcast Center. One of the students had this and was playing it all the time and making, doing their assignments based on songs from that. So that's how I got to know that. The Killers were pretty much inescapable. So that's how I got to know Hot Fuss and the singles off of this, like Mr. Brightside and Smile Like You Mean It. Somebody told me you had a boyfriend that looked like a girlfriend. Whatever that one is, too, that they talk about. I'm not a soldier or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's the Jenny song, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I got soul, but I'm not a soldier.
White on light blue. Gotta love the artwork on here. Yeah, there's no way to read that with my eyesight. Just went to an eye doctor, by the way, getting new glasses in 2 weeks. Scissor Sisters, fun stuff.
I thought that was 2003 because I had that on my list and I looked it up.
It was, if you look at the fact of the cassettes in CD, the first vinyl was released in 2004.
Oh, I had 2004 for.
I had it on my
2000. It's a 2004 release on vinyl.
2003.
Also, a lot of the singles were released in 2004 as well.
Maybe that's what it was. Janet Jackson had Demita Joe. It's all right. It's not as good as what came previously. It's kind of like a downturn for her. I mean, how can you come out with like 5 big albums in a row? She did 4. That was enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I liked that. No one else did. We've talked about this album before when we reviewed the band. Was The Cure's self-titled album. Not a fan favorite, but I actually liked it. I liked Robert Smith just being frantic and pissed off, and it's like, damn, this dude's going off. And he does. It's a different sound for them. It's he's broken out of his doom and gloom and gotten angry and frantic and I don't know. I was really surprised when I first heard that. I went and didn't hear that until last year.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
But that will always now remind me of, like you said before, I go to estate sales now. I started doing that right after Mother's Day. Started going to rummage sales first and looking for records, which I hadn't done since the early 90s. And got back into it this summer. And that was one of the first things I was listening to. I think probably the first weekend I went to rummage sales looking for records was that Cure. I was streaming that, listening to that while driving around. So we must have done that video right around that time. But yeah, the Cure's self-titled. One of the only people that like that album, I think. But there you have it. Yeah, not a lot to. 2004. Like you said, we're not really digesting music the same way. It's kind of becoming a wilderness. Everybody's kind of going off on their own path about how they're discovering music. And, yeah.
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 Yeah. We love it. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, 2004. I mean, I've got, like 6 honorable mentions, and I have a top 10, so it's not a ginormous top list. And as per usual, I'm all over the place. So first honorable mention would be JoJo with Leave, Get Out. I love JoJo. She was like a 16-year-old pop singer or whatever at the time. She's obviously grown and matured, and her voice has gotten so much better now, but I have loved her ever since the beginning. She had some crazy stuff with like her label, kind of like a Taylor Swift type thing. She had to later re-record her albums so she could actually get money for them. Sierra with Missy Elliott, 1-2 Step. Let me see, 1-2 Step and Sophisticated Fun. That's my favorite.
I know Work It and some of the later stuff, I guess.
But
earlier. I know earlier.
Work
stuff.
It is before, yeah. So this is the Sierra song featuring Missy Elliott. It's just a lot of fun. It's a good little dance. I remember dancing to that song in the club. The Kings of Convenience with I'd Rather Dance with You. And I believe Faust. Yeah, Faust is sings with them. Modest Mouse with Float On. I don't like a lot of Modest Mouse, but I do like this song.
That was an okay album too. Decent.
I like the song. There's the record that came out like either 1 or 2 after that Johnny Marr played on. That one I really enjoyed. I don't remember the name. It's a blue cover. Excuse me. Alanis Morissette with 8 Easy Steps. I'll teach you all this in 8 Easy Steps. Course of a Lifetime, you'll never forget. That was off her, I don't remember the name of the record now. Faust. Speaking of Faust, with Mushaboom. I saw Faust actually. I think it was the following year. She opened for Rilo Kiley, and I will never forget it because I was so angry because she's literally, it's her on the stage with her guitar. She's got her little pedal things that she's making all the different sounds with her voice and all that stuff. It's really cool, but you could not hear her because people would not shut the fuck up because she was the opening act. So nobody cared. And somewhere around here, I have an autographed CD because I met her and she was very sweet. And it was, but I was just really mad because I was really intrigued by her. Like, wow, look at this, like one person making all the sounds, and
she's really cool. I actually had her on my list. I don't know if I said her.
You did not.
But it was her album Let It Die.
Yeah.
That was her big one, yeah.
Yeah, that was her
technically
her debut. So I think she had a
record.
It is. And then she got really kind of poppy after that, but I still enjoy her. And then my last honorable mention would be Rufus Wainwright with Go or Go Ahead. Don't you stick your tongue. I love Rufus.
Can't stand his voice.
I love it. I love Rufus. I love it. And now it's time for my top 10. At number 10 would be Gwen Stefani with What You Waiting For. Her first single or solo single, Tick Tock, Tick Tock, Take a Chance, You Stupid Hoe, or whatever she says. I'm a big Gwen fan, and I'm not gonna lie about that. Nor should I, damn it. Number 9.
No, all the other people you're a fan of. I mean, why stop it, Gwen Stefani?
I know. I mean, why should I know? I mean, that's true. It's something lovely about myself. Number 9 would be Morrissey with The First of the Gang to Die.
Yeah.
First with the gun in his hand.
Yeah, I knew one.
Mm-hmm. Arcade Fire, Neighborhood Number 1, parentheses, Tunnels. So there was like 5 songs in there called Neighborhood Number 1. Yeah. Let's see. Number 7, the Scissor Sisters with Take Your Mama. Gonna take your mama.
My favorite. I love the video they did for the British Music Awards. I love that song.
Such a great
album.
Song. Always
drink champagne all night.
I just want to dance every time I hear it. So wonderful. Let's see. At 6 would be Brandy with Aphrodisiac. That album is fantastic. That song is fantastic. I love me some Brandy. I will never not love me some Brandy. So, number 5 would be Kylie Minogue with Red Blooded Woman. So good. Off of, what is the name of that album? It's being finally put on vinyl this month. So I'm very excited. Her 2004 album. So 4 would be Pink with God as a DJ. Such a great song. God as a DJ, Live as a Dance Floor. Number 3, now this is kind of like we're getting really sappy here. And country. Not that I wasn't sappy like all these other songs, but number 3, Leanne Womack. I may hate myself in the morning. I love Leanne so much. And that song, I lived it for many
video
years.
championed, she was playing, they had her playing a vinyl record in that video, and it was like, did that start the vinyl resurgence?
And the cover, oh my gosh, but
the cover looks like an old country album.
It looks like an old country, and it was released on vinyl, and if you've got $9 million, then you too can own it on whatnot.
And the thing is, we had a copy of it sitting at the radio station. They sent as a promotional thing, and I could have easily asked for it, and I'm sure I would have been given it, but I just didn't. But yeah,
that whole album,
because he didn't care. He just put it in the window. It's probably warped, just threw it in the window and like boom, and I'm like, if I walked in there, hey, can I have that? I collect records. He probably would have. Oh, yeah, go ahead. I don't want it, but I did not. And yeah, now like you said, it's
really pricey.
It's pricey.
It's really pricey, and I almost bought it when it came out, and I did not. So, yeah. So number 2 would be George Michael with Flawless, Go to the City. Absolutely flawless. That song is epic. It is a fantastic dance song. We all know that you are more than some fucked up piece of ass. Yes. George's last record, Patience. He had, some more compilations and a live album, but yeah, that was his last record. 2004, and he died like in 2016.
I always thought that was a weird line, though. If we all know that, then why bring it?
Well, you're on. Yeah, I know. But I mean, he just wants to make sure you know that you are more than some fucked up piece of ass. So thank you, George.
Well, somebody obviously made them feel that way. So obviously we all don't know that.
Yeah. Now we know.
I overanalyze dance floor lyrics.
And I think Patience is a beautiful record. There's some moments on it that are like Shoot the Dog. That song is not really great, but I think Through is the final track on that song. Just gets me every freaking time. And number 1, to nobody's surprise, number 1 for 2004 from this guy would be Rilo Kiley with Portions for Foxes.
Yeah,
there is blood in my mouth because I've been biting my tongue all week. That is my goddess, my Jenny. It is one of my absolute favorite songs of theirs, and might have been one of the first ones I heard within like the first like 3 or 4 songs of theirs. So,
yeah, same here.
And first record that I owned of theirs was More Adventurous. That was the tour that I saw them on. I think 3 times for that tour, twice for More Adventurous, 3 for Under the Black Light, but. So there you have it.
All right.
Yeah, I knew like 4 of those.
Yeah, I didn't know
one.
I didn't know a lot.
Although I knew the Leanne Womack one. How ridiculous is that?
Well, but you were in country radio,
and I knew the George Michael one. So there's 2.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of George Michael, and in terms of notable events of 2004, like Craig was saying, that he announces that Patience was going to be his last commercially released album, and then he was moving toward you would get his future releases off a website by making a donation to his favorite charities. And I was just curious, does anybody know how that really worked out? Did it work out for him? That
there were a couple singles here or there, but there were no albums.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it really and then those songs later became available on iTunes anyways, but I think that certain ones, because he did a cover of True Faith, the New Order song. And that all the portions for that, I believe, went to some charity. He gave a lot of money to charity.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money. And a lot of people really did not know that about him. Tons of money went to organizations.
Well, then on May 10th, Blender magazine released an issue that had the 50 worst songs ever list.
Oh.
And at the top of that list, I don't know if it was a 2007 or 2004, release, but We Built This City by the Starship was the top of their list.
Oh.
I remember that list. That was a pretty popular list going around. I think number 2 was Obla Di Obla Da or something like that. That was in the top 5 from the Beatles. That was another one that everybody's like, what?
I called up I called up the worst albums. Never mind. Miss Emily Latella, June 4th, make it a holiday. Creed dissolves. The band Creed just calls it quits.
They went
making more music.
I thought they were still here.
I think they came back, didn't they?
Yeah,
they turned into Alter Bridge. I mean,
so the solution that they were dissolved in evaporated, and whatever. June 10th, that's when Ray Charles died from. It was 73 from acute liver disease. I didn't realize that. He must have been such a drinker or something. I'm presuming that's what caused the liver disease. I think he was a cokehead for a while.
I just saw today. It must have just been released today on Netflix.
I watched,
a documentary about We Are the World.
I watched it last night. It's
so
pretty
it was
good.
last night. Yeah, I just saw it today. I just turned it on and it was just there. I'm like, I had
no
idea.
Yeah, no, it was a couple nights ago that I fell asleep. There's a
few interesting things on it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They talked about Prince.
I won't give anything away, but
I will say this. I won't give a spoiler. I'll just give a tease that I knew everything that was on there already, like Cyndi Lauper's jewelry and the thing with Prince and whatever. But the thing I did not know, and I did a whole video on We Are the World, so I did like research for that, and then I knew a bunch of stuff from before that, but I never heard the thing about the drunk person. And I'm not going to say who it was.
I didn't know that.
That was actually a surprise.
I did not know that either. And then they pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh, he is hammered."
That was funny. Dude the person could not sing their line, and they were intoxicated.
I also learned that Huey Lewis has a hairy back because
I caught that too.
He said somebody was singing. I think it was Springsteen, and he's like, Springsteen was singing, and it made the hair on my back stand up. I was like, well, that's not the phrase, unless you actually have it.
I think he may have been trying to be funny, but I heard something else about Huey anyway.
Well, yeah,
you told us that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We digress.
Yeah, more than once. Yeah.
The August 8th was the infamous incident with the Dave Matthews Band tour bus. That was August 8th, 2007. 800 pounds of shit dumped on a tour boat passing underneath the bridge.
Was it really 800 pounds?
Yes. It was a shitload.
Shitload, yes.
That's like a circus caravan. Who shits 800? What?
800 pounds of human feces.
I get that, but where did the 800? I mean, how many people are on this bus?
The big RV that they had.
That's fine, but I mean,
it was more than shit. It was also a septic. It's a septic.
Right. It was the entire flushing out the entire system. They were driving because some of those bridges, they're drawbridges, so they're great, so it goes right through.
Yeah.
But the driver didn't realize that there was an architecture tour boat passing underneath the bridge at the time. So, but that was when that infamous incident occurred.
I'm to 800 pounds.
That's according to the source I looked at. That's what it said. Shit can weigh a lot. No,
I don't know that at all.
It can be dense. Not all of it floats. All right, December 8th. We have this is something I didn't know anything about, but have you heard Dimebag Darrell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shot on stage while he was performing in Columbus, Ohio.
There's video of it.
Yeah,
a guy with a Beretta killed 3 other people, wounded 3 more before the police shot him dead. That would have been one crazy concert.
Is that Pantera?
So anyway,
they killed him. They didn't just shoot him; they killed him.
No,
they shot him dead. Yeah, the police shot him dead. Yeah.
No,
Dimebag
Daryl was shot.
Anyway. No, Dimebag. He's
Dimebag Daryl was shot and killed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, excuse me. Dimebag. Yeah, he was killed. The gunman was also killed. He was killed by police.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. Sorry about that. I thought I said that.
He might have.
Anyway, the albums that I do have, I don't have very many, and I didn't pull the Killers. I didn't realize that was the same year, but someone, we already showed Scissor Sister, was one that I have from then. Mad Villain, it's all right. It's to me it was kind of overhyped. It's a pretty good album, but this is one I might want to sell or trade with somebody. I really like this Black Keys release. I really, this is probably my favorite Black Keys release. Good. And then this is older music, but this was released in 2004. This compilation of music by Moondog, and including music and also his spoken word stuff that he was recorded while he was talking on 6th Avenue. He was known the Viking of 6th Avenue. It's pretty interesting stuff. But the world, I didn't have a whole lot. In fact, in 2007, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, yeah, what was I doing? Well, like Craig, or 2004, I keep saying 2007. Like Craig was saying about going to the library, I was going to the library and I was burning a lot of CDs. I burned a lot of DVDs.
Wow, I guess we were all doing that. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was just me.
That was the time.
And I was mostly focusing on music, from the past, not, music that I already knew about. I really wasn't that focused. I mean, Scissor Sister is probably the only music that I bought that was released at the time. But then I looked at the list of stuff that was released and I made a list and I listened to all of these and there were some good ones. Stereo Lab released Margarine Eclipse. This is it was a really nice album, very fresh pop and Beatlesque. It's got very engaging electronic loops. This is definitely one I would like to get. The Decemberists released The Tane, which was a CD only release, and it's freaking great. And it's based on this ancient medieval story. Something about the gist of the story is about somebody's cow and their bull, and there's this like war started over the bull or something like that. But the singer in the Decemberists, the way he sings these folk songs, I think just the sound of his voice really works well with these stories.
Yeah, what's his name? Colin.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
I can't remember. He does.
He
has that really cool delivery of when he does those folky songs.
Right.
Kind of like an Ian Anderson. It's really cool.
Yeah. I listened to Clutch, Blast Tyrant. And it was, it was all right. The video, though, for The Mob Goes Wild, I thought was kind of just a little bit disturbing, but because of the bar fight that goes on in the video, but it was all right. You knew about the Eagles of Death Metal. They were the band at that Paris theater where the terrorists broke in and shot people up and everything. 90 people were killed.
I saw them live right after that happened here in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
One of the most disturbing concerts I've ever been to in my life. That lead singer,
they play?
That lead singer is a racist motherfucker.
Really?
Oh, is he?
Oh, I had to leave the concert. He had the crowd chanting USA, and he brought some woman. He got that crowd so anti-Muslim and riled up. I left. It was scary.
Oh, well, that's interesting because I was listening to the album that was released then, Peace, Love, Death Metal, which was their debut. And I kind of liked it.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
All their records are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a disturbing concert.
They did stuff.
I'm not gonna be picking up their stuff.
No.
Calexico released a EP called Convict Pool, and I really love that. That was
it's great.
Freaking good. That is such a great record. It's also another CD only release.
Is it? Huh.
Yeah. Then DJ Tiesto, I've listened to Tiesto before in some of his releases. He had something that was called Just Be. It's a very commercial house and techno, and I like house and techno music. But I've become so much more interested in a lot of other newer and in some of the deeper acid house mixes. And his is very commercial. It's fun to put on maybe for a party or something like that. But it's Patti Smith's album Trampin' was released. It came out on vinyl 3 different ways. The U.S. vinyl release in 2004. There was a Netherlands vinyl release in 2004. The Music on Vinyl reissued it in 2010. And those are the only vinyl releases. Everything else was all CD. It's good rock and good ballads. It's a really solid album.
What's it called?
I would probably put on my list to pick up.
Oh, Trampin'. Okay.
Trampin', yeah.
I'm not.
Mission of Burma. I have one of their records already, and they released
They're cool.
On, Off, On. Very punky, garagey power pop kind of. I wrote down that if you like Midnight Oil, then you might like Mission of Burma, and vice versa. If you like Mission of Burma, you might like Midnight Oil. They have kind of a similar style. Los Lobos released The Ride. Very, very solid. I love the Barry saxes on the song Charmed. The whole album is just such a nice variety of musical styles. And I really only have 2 Los Lobos. Now, Chris at Record Talk, he talks a lot about Juliana Hatfield. And Juliana Hatfield released in Exile Deo. This is another CD-only release. And so I listened to it. It's the first time I really ever listened to any Juliana Hatfield. And I'm interested enough, I'd like to hear more.
She's terrific.
Yeah. So I really didn't know anything about her. Skinny Puppy released The Greater Wrong of the Right. And that was considered kind of a comeback record for them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And it was their, I'm not sure if it was their last one or not, but it very industrial. And it intrigued me enough because I had heard about Skinny Puppy through their association with some other bands that I listened to. And so I want to investigate them and learn a little more about them. Another CD-only release was the Cowboy Junkies' One Soul Now. And it's just absolutely quintessential Cowboy Junkies. It's just really great, great release. I had heard about the Far Side before, and they released Humboldt Beginnings. And it's, it was kind of okay, very long release. There's like 23 tracks on it. But it's like I think it's their debut record that is probably the only one that I might even be worth getting. Donovan released his last release, Beat Cafe.
That's a good record.
It is, and it has a very different sound and feel to it than previous Donovan records. I did. I really liked it.
It's really good. Yeah.
But it's another CD only release, according to information I was seeing.
CDs.
Drive-By Truckers had The Dirty South, and I mean this is hard rock that's like delivered with a sledgehammer. It's not bad. They struck me though. I'm not sure I would ever want to buy their albums, but I wouldn't mind going to a show, to a concert, because I think they would probably put on a really good concert. But I don't know, their music just, I don't know. I've listened to a couple of their other albums and they kind of all blend together. in my mind. So, and then surprised I didn't have this one. Social Distortion released "Sex, Love, and Rock and Roll," and it's a record just what you would expect from Social Distortion. You know, it's good. I like Social Distortion. You know, they're going to be playing in Chicago this summer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to make it to that show, however. Yeah, it's a good, really good record. So there was some good stuff, but there was also some very, you know, it was okay kind of stuff. Nothing to really, you know, get me all that excited. But some of these really good, like the Donovan or the Cowboy Junkies, or the the Calexico for sure, and that Decemberus, the Tane. I really want to get that, add that to my collection. So that's what I got for 2004. I keep wanting to say 2007, and I don't know why.
I feel like we've already done 2000.
I think we have, yeah.
I don't know.
So there was some awful stuff too, and now it's time to talk about the bottoms of 2004. Yes. A lot of mid-level kind of blah stuff, but what was the worst?
I have no bottoms because I didn't listen to music because of what we were just talking about. We didn't have music we didn't like pushed onto us, you know, like the MTV years and the FM radio years and the going to high school parties and college parties. Back then, yeah, I knew Phil Collins. I didn't like him. I knew Sting. I didn't like him. I knew Peter Cetera. I didn't like him. I went through this. I went through websites and just looking at stuff, and I'm like, I don't know any of these bands. I don't know this music. I've never heard it because it's not in my wheelhouse. It's not going to be. Where am I going to hear this? So then I was like, well, I'm going to listen to some of it, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to spend my free time listening to music, looking for music I don't like. So I was just kind of like, it's all just there, and I don't want to trash bands, you know, just because I hear one song that I don't like. I'm not going to come up here and be like, they suck, and then somebody in the comments is going to be like, it's my favorite band. But you know, I just, yeah, there's just nothing there. Yeah. And it's not, and I'm sure there are a lot of shitty songs. Craig probably has 20.
not quite. I actually, we'll get to me in a moment.
But yeah, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, maybe I didn't do my homework. Maybe I should have listened to gone looking for bad music or music I don't like, not bad music. But yeah, it's just because it. And I guess I mean I'm the same way. Older. Maybe it's just part of getting older, or maybe it's just the way times have changed. You know, we're just not being exposed. Even like this year, if we did this year, I couldn't tell you music I would put in bottoms.
Yeah, you got no time for dealing with.
Yeah, we've talked about this on a couple of videos about how you don't have music forced upon you anymore, and so.
Yeah, and when did that start? When did that start? Do you think? Did it start in the 2000s or? You know?
Well, I think it starts for different people, different way. Like I worked in radio, so I had to listen to.
You had to, yeah.
For work, you know, over and over and over and over and over again. And but I think for most people, it's whenever you got that car that didn't have a CD that that had the streaming in it, and you start going to places like Pandora, and you start cultivating your own. They call it a radio station, but it's basically a playlist of. Yeah, it's a playlist. Streaming songs
and you're right. That's 2000 probably.
Vinyl Community same way.
I had my iPod plugged into my car, so I was just playing all my old records or my CDs that I burned, and so I was listening to my music that I liked. So I wasn't being exposed to anything.
These days, I work. In addition, I work at part-time at a record store. And so guys will come in and throw things that work there will throw things on the record, records on that are, some of them are just like, Jesus Christ. Time for hour, 42-minute long lunch break or something. But, I think the Vinyl Community videos are the way that a lot of us are exposed to stuff now. And we have our channels of people that we kind of relate to musically. And, if they say it's pretty good, I like a lot of the stuff they like, I'm going to listen to it. You're not going to watch a Vinyl Community channel of a genre of music that you can't stand, or a bunch of
sometimes I do
talking about bands you don't. Well, the person's sexy or something, but
not.
But It's like I'm not going to point anybody out, but I mean, I'm just saying if somebody's going on and on about how great Nickelback and Creed and stuff like that is, then you're not going to be like, oh, well, what's their next? Oh, I haven't heard of that band. I'll go check them out if they're like Nickelback and Creed.
Yeah.
If you don't like Nickelback and Creed, you're going to be drawn more to the people that are suggesting things that you already know you like, and then they mention something you don't know. You're going to go seek that out, and so it's all more cultivated now. It's not just this whatever corporate music industry is trying to push on you through the usual two outlets.
Yeah, and it's been like that
for radio.
Probably 20 years.
And this is, but I think this is where it's in flux. I think now the system is set up. You know how to get music now. You know to go to YouTube, Vinyl Community channels. People are well versed in the streaming services of their choice. In 2004, we're still in that kind of kind of wilderness where everybody's just off doing their own thing. And that's why I don't know a lot of these albums. I don't know a lot of the songs I don't like. I know I don't like fucking Hoobastank, The Reason, but I think that's actually from 2003. But it came up as 2004. I could have swore that was from a lot earlier.
It's the single for sure came out in 2004. But.
Okay, yeah, that's terrible.
I remember the name.
And
them,
yeah. The reason
of course.
That one.
I recognize that immediately.
Now I remember them.
You sound just like him.
Thank you. I try to really nail the
emotion and the
Maroon 5, and I have Nickelback Someday, which is just like any other Nickelback song. Linkin Park with Numb. Linkin Park's terrible. I mean,
they are terrible.
Their first song they came out with, I never will forget it. That one that goes, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!" I'm just like, oh my god. Really? This is
See, now you know why I didn't even bother.
Wow.
Right. I mean, and Numb is terrible. Linkin Park's terrible.
Yeah, they are.
And I could, I'm sure like I could go on with 100 more of these bullshit bands, but we're in deep now in the box type production. We're in deep now with like corporate formed bands that had no history before their first release is a major label debut, is their very first album because they were formed by a corporation. We're into that now, and it's just like it's so completely uninteresting and such shit. And I have no real interest in going back and hearing a lot of 2004. I mean, if I'm going to go back and listen to older music, it's going to be from the 70s and 80s and try to discover some stuff I might have overlooked, or it's going to be something current, or maybe from a few years ago. But 2004 can stay in 2004.
I am going to check out that Patti Smith record that Richard suggested.
Yeah, there's artists like that are kind of timeless,
Yeah, exactly. And I've been on a big Patti Smith kick lately. So
ever since you threw a drink on her in concert.
Yeah, I threw that drink on her and she threw it right back.
I still can't get over that. Somebody throwing drinks at Patti Smith. It's like,
I'll
go to Rage Against the Machine concerts. I wish they'd keep their politics to themselves. It's fucking Rage Against the Machine. It's Patti Smith.
Then
what are you doing here?
Don't go and don't listen to her.
Right.
Okay. Well, Hoobastank. I just had Hoobastank, not Hoobastank. Anything Hoobastank.
I don't think I know any others. Aren't they a one-hit wonder pretty much?
The name is terrible, and is it crap? I don't know, but Britney Spears covered Bobby Brown's "My Prerogative," so yeah, that is crap. But it's just I felt like I should mention it because what? Switchfoot, I Dare You to Move.
Jesus.
I
think I've heard other songs.
I've heard of
Dare You
it's like...
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of these bands.
Go away. That's what I dare you to do. I'm not daring you. I'm telling you. Just go away. But this brought up, from looking at all these singles that came out, I have I don't know, maybe I'll do this again. Maybe I won't. But I'm calling these next 5 I'm going to share with you that I did not listen to, by the way, titles that make me go, So, Super Furry Animals had a song called "The Man Don't Give a Fuck."
They're a good band.
I
I've heard
am
that song though, but I do like
familiar
it.
with them. I've never heard that song.
Good.
Moby and Public Enemy did a song together. Make Love, Fuck War. Here's where it starts to get fun. Perfect Circle. Counting bodies like sheep to the rhythm of the war drums. I mean, I like Perfect Circle. I've never heard that song. This might win best song title ever. I don't know. I don't know who Trent Wilmon is, but this is called Dixie Roses Deluxe's Honky Tonk Feed Store Gun Shop Used Car Beer Bait Barbecue Barbershop Laundromat.
You put that in the bottoms?
I didn't.
He's a
listen
country
to
guy.
it.
He
Yeah,
was
he's a
around for
country
like 5
guy,
minutes.
and that is the title of the song.
I believe it's about a one-stop shop.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure, one-stop shop.
Yeah, I'm sure it's lovely. And again, I'm not saying these songs are crap. I don't know any of them. It's just that the titles, I was like, what? And finally, I mean, I ask this question all the time. This is I think they were British. Avenue D. Do I look like a slut?
What?
And there you have it. Titles that make me go,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wasn't, I didn't go out of my way to listen to, music that wasn't going to appeal to me or was considered trash. I did go to a website that's where they asked the hoi polloi to vote on the worst records released in 2004. Don't know anything about these records, but here are the top or the bottom 10. Avril Lavigne, Under My Skin, was number 10, worst record. I don't know who that is.
I remember that song title, but I don't remember how it goes. But yeah, she was. I could take her or leave her.
Yeah, I like some of her.
Yeah, I didn't mind her. She was okay.
I liked her first record.
Yeah.
Number 9 was by an artist called Chingy. And the record was called Powerballin'.
St. Louis.
Okay.
I think. Maybe not.
Powerballin'.
Powerballin'. Yep. Number 8 was by a band called Busted, and the record was A Ticket for Everyone. Don't know.
No.
Then someone by the name of Mandarina, and the name of the record was Mandarina.com. Okay, so
I love that.
You didn't go there, did you?
It's my favorite. There's some stuff.
Dwight Yoakam had an album named like that, didn't he? AcousticDwightYoakam.com or something like that? Or
Everybody should have an album like that.
Number 6 was by Steven Seagal, and it was Songs from the Crystal Cave.
I bet that's a beauty.
So there's 5 albums worse than the Steven Seagal album. I find that hard to believe.
And number 5 was David Hasselhoff.
There you go.
David Hasselhoff's better than Steven Seagal.
He's gotta be. And David
he has a legitimate singing career in other parts of the world.
Germany.
Number 4 was by someone, Imam, Eamon, and the record was called I Don't Want You Back. Don't know. Hillary Duff was number 3 with the self-titled Hillary Duff album. Don't know anything about her. Ashley Simpson with the album Autobiography was number 2. And according to the hoi polloi, the worst album of 2004 was Lindsay Lohan's Speak.
Oh, Lindsay. Yeah.
So misunderstood.
So misunderstood she is.
So anyway, that's all I know about, If it didn't appeal to me, I didn't listen to it, I didn't buy it.
Yeah. The number 1 album of the year, apparently, no one mentioned it, was Green Day's American Idiot, which I appreciate the what they're trying to do with that album. I just not a fan of Green Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Green Day fan.
Vocals.
They're hit and miss for me, but I don't really like. Actually, I really don't like anything after Dookie. So there's a few songs here or there that I have a greatest.
I don't know anything about their brand new one, so
yeah,
it sounds
like Green Day.
Yeah,
it sounds like Green Day. So yeah,
I admire
right.
Green Day for their support that they gave Pansy Division, because they took Pansy Division on tour with them, and there were a couple of shows where the crowd, because Pansy Division was the opening act, were booing them and heckling them because they wanted Green Day to come out. And what's his name,
Billy
Joe Armstrong.
Billy Joe Armstrong came out and just reamed the crowd and yelled at them for their behavior during Pansy Division. So I appreciate what he was doing.
Yeah,
the music is just
they're fine.
It's
not.
I will say Billy Joe Armstrong and Nora Jones did an Everly Brothers cover album.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It's not a bad record.
Absolutely brilliant. I love their harmonies together. They're so lovely together. So
there you have 2004, the tops and bottoms. Kind of a boring video for a boring year.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe the next
Sorry,
one,
we've got better ones coming up.
Maybe the next one will be exciting because we are doing 1976.
It will definitely be more exciting. Yes, 1976 coming up. We are also going to review the album Provincetown from Man on Man. We'll have Richard's playlist. Do we know who he's? Oh, it's Neil Young.
Yeah,
Neil Young playlist battle.
Yeah,
is on the way as well. So those things are coming up, and much, much more. So yeah, Neil Young will be interesting. I think we'll all have completely different songs.
Yeah.
Well, except for Craig, who will have like top
Craig
3.
knows none of them.
Yeah. So
I was listening to Neil today in the car, and this is going to be a long playlist.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's
and I whittled mine down to 18. So I could have made it 40.
I'm probably going over 18. So
wow.
So
my 2 will my 2 will kind of
balance that.
Well, last week what did I have my own? My own I only had 16.
17.
Yeah, you wouldn't be
you had 17.
18.
I just couldn't.
There's
He's
no
like the
rule.
guy that leaves like a half a donut in the thing. Oh, I just couldn't finish it.
We'll see.
All right, that's it. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Robert Fithen, along with
Richard at Kellen Wazoo,
Craig's Vinyl Plethora,
Mike at Hubtunes.
Talk to you again next time. Better year.
Oh, much better.